under the, I think it is, I don't remember the exact section, but it is within the Police Act. I think it is 39, section 39. It says that if there are 2 or 3, 2 or more, who have decided to hold a meeting, the police has a right to stop them.
It's already on the statute.
It is already there. Let them read the Police Act. They will see it. So I think this is impulsive. It is out of excitement. But what I would prefer probably is this honorable member of parliament to tell us what does that bill constitute. From there, then I can make a
yes, Honorable Kachinda.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, this public order bill to me is unconstitutional. When you see what is inside this bill, first of all, its present form, in its present form now, it is going to infringe on civil liberties and criminalize activities such as protests. Like for example, today we have a problem of high cost of living. So it means if we pass this bill,
no more protests.
Exactly.
No more walk to work.
Yes, even if it is peaceful.
Walk is the real treason, you know that.
Exactly. So now that means we will not say anything as a Ugandan. To me, that is not freedom of speech, freedom of worship as we have it. Secondly, it gives excessive powers to the Inspector General of Police, because here he will be in charge of all public meetings in this country.
Yes.
He will be the only person to direct.
Right.
Or that this public meeting will take place. And to me, again, that's very difficult to our people. Then lastly, as I've said, it will also stuff our constitutional right,
yes,
as Ugandans. Freedom of expression. Really, if you are a Ugandan and you have a problem and the government doesn't want you to talk about to express the problem, are you Ugandan?
So you think they're trying to suffocate?
Suffocate. And especially on political parties and political pressure groups. To me, I think I don't know, because this is a multi-party system country. Everybody is aware of what, even in parliament, we have leader of opposition. I've seen a leader of opposition being tear gassed as a baby. Really?
Bandled
and this is exactly. Bandled. The head. Okay. As a political leader.
Right.
You saw what happened about the leader, the president of FDC. So, I think to me, I call upon the civil societies and everybody in this country to come on board so that we can fight this bill.
Yes, thank you. For me, my take is this, that the civil society organizations should read the Police Act.
Yes.
And that will arm them with the argument that actually what this bill is providing for is already provided for in the Police Act.
So no need for a new law.
Yes, there is no need for a new law. For example, there are about 15 sections in the Anti-Corruption Act which already exist in the Penal Code Act. Now, this bill is seeking to duplicate and reproduce some of the sections within the Police Act. I think there was one writer from the West who said that if you want to hide anything from the black man,
put it in a book.
Put it in a book. These members of parliament, some of them, especially the draftsmen,
They didn't see those.
they didn't see those. They don't know that they already
They're
exist.
inventing the wheel.
There's a problem of reinventing the wheel.
All right, let's move forward. Let's talk about Gaddafi in Libya. Some people think he died as a hero, but after his killing his son, we know that he was buried in a marked grave together with his son. Many people are shocked by that. Today, NATO has said it's ending its operations October 31. Now, Saif al-Islam, one of the surviving Gaddafi children, says he's ready to go and face justice. Mr. Mushabe, what do you think is going to happen in Libya?
No, in Libya, for example, for me, what I saw, the way they arrested Gaddafi, and the man said, "Don't shoot,"
Yes.
which means he surrendered.
Yes.
Under
Oh,
convention.
so Gaddafi surrendered, he did not die fighting. Some people think he was a hero.
No, he surrendered. There is evidence which shows that the man says, "Don't shoot."
Yes.
The boy who shot him, he got his golden pistol and shot it with him. Shot him
Gaddafi
with
surrendered his own pistol.
Exactly.
And that's what killed him.
Exactly.
Yes.
The evidence is there. There is a lot of documentary evidence.
That's true.
Now, when somebody says, "Don't shoot,"
And then you go ahead and
I
shoot.
surrender, and you shoot,
That's called.
are you better than him? I have a lot of reservations with NTC. If Africa is going to improve and do better than the past regimes or past leaders, it must demonstrate a better moral standing than those they are fighting.
Right.
So I don't have high hopes in the leaders of NTC. Now, with regard to Gaddafi's son saying, "I surrender," I think this is a rude awakening. This is the man who was saying that I will die here, I fight here in Libya, I will die here. Saif Islam, a PhD holder, was saying, "I will fight here, I will die here, I'm not going anywhere."
Plan A, Plan B, Plan C.
Exactly.
All that.
Now he sees his father humiliated before death and after death.
And his legacy totally wiped out.
His legacy is wiped out. Now he's seeing himself actually walking in the footsteps of his father, probably much less, much lower than, much worse, because he has never been a president. But he sees himself being dragged, killed, and humiliated. So quickly he says, "Look, I surrender." I think he's right to do that. I mean, if you love life, you have to say something that saves you. Life is so sweet. We don't know. The Baganda said that the Magombe Tebali Mayo Monde, that in the grave they don't dig their sweet potatoes. I think sweet potatoes are so sweet that you would miss if you went in the grave. So Saif Islam
He's being a wise man.
He's being a wise man. He knows that now
He's cornered. He's like a rat in the corner.
yeah, the walls and everything is caving in. He's being buried. So he's being wise, but this is a self-preservation move, and it's okay. It's okay.
And
But
you don't
I
think
don't
his
have
father-
high hopes in NTC.
And you don't think his father died as a hero?
I don't think so.
Honorable Kajin.
Thank you very much. First of all, I disagree.
Brother.
I
But if he had died shooting and his exchange, then I would have said the man died as a hero. He said, "Don't shoot,"
He surrendered.
and they found him in a sewer.
Oh, hiding like a rat. Of course, he called himself King of Kings, but in the end,
The people he called the rats, they found him in a sewer, a sewage pipe,
Right.
where rats live.
he had of course
This
become.
has a lot of lessons for us.
He had become king of rats after calling himself rats. Honorable Kajin.
I didn't
Thank
say
you
that.
very much. First of all, I want to disagree just on one point with Mushabe about the capacity
Of the
NTC.
Yes.
I think they are going to organize themselves. What I don't want to comment much about the late Gaddafi now, but I want the Africans really to learn a lesson from Gaddafi's whatever happened in Libya.
Yes.
Why?
What kind of lessons do you want them to learn?
The lessons, what? Because I never, am I the one I want to credit the people of Libya? I never saw anybody looting.
Right.
It seemed their problem was was Gaddafi. And I think the only problem was because Gaddafi ruled for a long time.
Yes.
42 years. I think.
Why should they have stopped? At what level?
I think, like, everybody now is talking of term limits.
Yes.
In this country.
When should he have stopped? 41 years?
Even I think if he had stopped at 30, he would be a great man. We would be having the two Mandelas now in Africa. Because what I know, the late Gaddafi tried to do for Africa. He has built many he has helped many Muslims, he has helped many people, he has done a lot of developments in Africa. But the problem, I think, and if you could,
a colorful man.
The only problem was, I think, he ruled for a long time. That's
his only
exactly. That's
Mr. Mushabe,
I take exception to my honorable brother here. One, there is saying that charity begins at home.
Yes, go on.
There is saying that charity begins at home.
Yes.
How can you have 6 million people? You have all that oil and they are poor.
Right.
But you have all that money to dish around the whole of Africa.
Right.
Was that in the interest of all Africans or just in
And there are beggars in Libya.
And there are beggars in Libya. There is a problem. I see a contradiction there.
Right.
Had he been a true Pan-Africanist, he would have made the Libyans be proud of being Libyans and given them whatever they deserve. Because God gave them that oil. It was no man who gave them that oil. But he had these projects with a view of becoming the first African president.
President of Africa.
President of United States of Africa. I think that was selfish, and our leaders should stay away from selfish agenda. That's where I disagree. Yes, we benefited, some of these countries benefited from the selfish scheme, but it was genuine. And what goes around comes around.
He was paying for his sins.
Exactly.
Well, listeners, this is Spectrum on Radio 1. We're reviewing the week tonight. You'll be able to call in shortly, but you can also send text messages. What you do is type the word Spectrum, message, question, or comment, and send it to 7197. We're going to receive your calls. You can call in when that time comes. But in the meantime, you can send text messages. Type the word Spectrum, leave a space, type in your message, question, or comment, and send it to 7197. I'll read it out on air before we leave. I'll also read out the numbers very, very shortly so you can contribute to this discussion. Mr. Mushabe, when do leaders become rulers?
You see, leaders never become rulers. Those who seem to have transformed or transmuted from leadership to rulership are those who masked their plans, who hoodwinked the population from the beginning, ab initio. A true leader never transforms into a ruler. A ruler is the one who craves for honor but not fear. What we have, just like I said some moments ago, is that a person who thirsts for respect will eventually force people to fear him. And I think it was Machiavelli who advanced this argument. Is it better to be feared or respected? It seems that the trend in African history and African politics is that it is better to be feared than respected. But they forget one thing, that we are made of flesh and blood. Otherwise, Gaddafi would not have died
the way he died,
pleading for life, saying, please don't shoot. At the end of the day, life is sweet. And at the end of the day, we go back. I don't care whether there are atheists out there. But at the end of the day, we go to meet with the Creator, the author of life. And we have to realize as African leaders that man's rationality is bounded. I was talking to a friend of mine this evening. I said, if you have sons, you thought for them when they were toddlers, you thought for them when they were teenagers, and thought for them when they are in their 20s and 30s and 40s. There's something wrong with those sons. At some point, your sons and daughters should think for themselves. Then you pat yourself at the back, you say, I did a good job. But here in African politics, Some people want to think for us. If they think for us, it means they have not done a good job, but they don't know that.
Maybe you were a rebellious son.
I'm not a rebellious son.
You were, so they taught you, but you refused to take it, so they have to continue even at 50.
But who has monopoly on knowledge?
Well, you can see what other people have.
Even more to that, who has monopoly on wisdom? When King Solomon went to pray, God asked him, what do you want?
He asked for wisdom.
He asked for wisdom, not knowledge. We have so many African leaders who are so knowledgeable. They research Shakespeare, Aristotle, Socrates, and all those
but
people.
Wisdom is missing.
But there is no wisdom. It is a time when Africa must wake up and say, look, do we have wisdom?
Honorable Kajinda, when do leaders become rulers?
Thank you very much. First of all, I agree with my brother here to some extent. When you see what is happening in Africa, it is even very difficult to tell whether our leaders are rulers or leaders, because they are everywhere. In Africa, you find the head of state, for example, doing each and everything.
What's wrong with that? He has all the wisdom.
No, the problem is one. We have institutions. The moment you kill institutions, you have finished everything. Because the moment you don't give powers to these institutions, it means that everybody will be running at you.
Yes.
Whenever there is a small problem or whatever, you find somebody is running at you. So that means you are both. You are a ruler, at the same time you want to be a leader. But if you want really to be a leader, like in a democratic way, in a democratic country like Uganda, first of all, you need to arm the institutions of government so that they are independent.
Like police.
Like police, judiciary, so that in case there is something, those people are independent to make a decision. It is very, very important for African leaders to arm our institutions so that they can make an independent decisions. And this is lacking. That's why, to some extent, I agree with Mushabe that our leaders are rulers just to rule.
Big men.
Yes.
See, my honorable brother, my take is this. Nobody trains the dog to bite him.
Yes.
If you have institutions, these institutions are the same ones which might turn against you. If you flout the same rules which have been set. Now, that's why most African leaders, they don't like institutions. These are dogs which will bite them. So it is.
So they begin to kill them.
Yes. You better not groom those vicious dogs.
Yes.
I think that is the way I understand it.
Then the logic of killing institutions.
Exactly.
Where they are killed. I'm not saying it's happened here. Most likely we hear it.
I'm talking about Africa.
We hear about it from very, very distant places.
I'm not talking about Africa. Yes, yes.
Mr. Michel, talk to us about the difference of the rule of law and the rule by law. Is there a difference there, and what is it?
See, the rule of law, to me, it is versus the rule by law. It is analogous to the letter of the law and the spirit of the law.
Yes.
Somebody who goes by the letter of the law is ruling by the law.
Yes.
But somebody who is ruled by the spirit of the law is ruling, that is the rule of
the
law.
Intentions, the aims.
Looks at the intentions and the aims of the framers of that particular law.
Right.
You see, in developed countries where a law is proved to be draconian or oppressive, they quickly go and redress that mischief. But here, actually, not only in Africa, even in some of those Asian countries which are still behind, and South American countries, as long as it serves the rulers, they will not amend that law. As long as it protects the interests of the rulers, they will not change that law. Therefore, they rule by the law.
They use the law to approve.
Without the rule of law.
Right.
The rule of law has a connotation that there's morality, there's a certain moral foundation on which that law is premised. But the rule by law is that as long as there is the
use it as a big
law,
stick.
you just use it as a big stick. Hit people on their heads, and that's the law.
Honorable
And that's your defense. That's the law.
Right. Honorable Kajinda.
Yeah, thank you very much. Me about this issue. To me, what I see, the only problem is that, for example, I want to give an example in this country. The people who were in the Constituent Assembly in 1994, who made this constitution.
Yes.
When you see today, majority of them are still in leadership.
Yes. What's wrong with that?
Are you talking about leadership or ruler?
No, they are still exactly. They are still ruling. They are with us, and to me it is a problem because these people, some of these articles which are in this constitution, most of them know, and whatever they are doing, some of them know. So, to me, if, for example, in the future, if like you participated in a constituency, in making a constitution, you should take like 30 years or 25 years before you participate in the politics of this country.
That means you're going to retirement.
Yes, say that this constitution is independent.
For them.
Because because they know what they put.
Yes.
That's why they have failed. That's why they don't want to move out, because they still know the benefits of what is in the constitution.
So they make it in their own interest.
Exactly, and that's what is killing us.
You think it's better they make it for others?
Yes.
After you do the right
and then you watch, they can go to other institutions, but not to be policy makers. Because now, if you participated in the constitution making, and again you are still a policy maker, what are you going to deliver? That means you can abuse the rule of law, you can abuse each and everybody, because the whole thing is on you. So that's my comment about this.
Mr. Mushabe, we have a new week coming up. Dr. Besje says he's going to walk to his workplace. Yes. What do you think is going to happen? He can't be put under preventive arrest according to the courts yesterday. What do you think is going to happen?
You see, I watched Dr. Besje leaving Kasangat court with mixed feelings. You see, when you see curtains in a window,
yes,
they lie to you, they deceive you that if they are so beautiful, you will think that whatever is inside is beautiful.
Yes.
But not all that glitters is gold.
Yes.
Yes, they released him, but he's going to work on Monday and they will arrest him.
And what, they've arrested him before, they take him back to his house?
Yes, they take him back to his house.
You think they'll surround the house?
As long as those sections in the Police Act have not been amended, they will arrest him. So who are you going to hold responsible?
Well, the court
even the magistrate's court says that the damages you are seeking for, the monetary damages you are seeking them in a wrong court. Go to the High Court.
Yes.
And when he goes to the High Court, that takes several years seeking those damages. But they will still arrest him.
You think they arrest him and take him back to his house?
I don't know whether you
surround it again.
Yes, they will surround it, maybe for a short time, maybe
before these 7 hours they go and they come back again.
Exactly. Maybe they won't be so close, they'll be at a distance, but they will still prevent him from going, because the law is still that preventive arrest is okay. Amend the law, then we talk after that. As long as the law is still like that, it is a waste of time. We are engaging in intellectual romanticism.
They're amending it, they're bringing the public order management bill. That's supposed to solve the problem.
No, it can't solve the problem. It is actually to aggravate it.
You think so?
Yes, it will. It will. And the short-sightedness of Africa is that if you protect yourself so much in power, the laws you are passing won't turn around to bite you. The people who are in power today they are going to be out of power tomorrow.
Yes.
And once they are out of power tomorrow, it is the same laws they have passed that are going to turn around and bite them.
Right.
So life is a contradiction.
Well,
one writer said that man has bounded rationality. We can't know what is going on tomorrow, what is going to happen. Even when we go to bed, we don't know whether we're going to wake up.
We have to go. Thank you very much, dear guest. Honorable Roland Mugume Kajinda, Shadow Minister for Public Service, also Member of Parliament for Rukungiri Municipality. Thank you very much for coming to Spectrum.
Thank you.
Mr. David Mushabe from Mushabe and Munungu Company Advocates. Thank you for coming to Spectrum, David.
My pleasure.
We expect to be joined by Mr. David Mafabi from State House. He was not able to come. He's the private secretary to the President in charge of political affairs and institutions. He was not able to come. Thank you, though, for tuning in all week. I've been your host, Edmond Kizito. Spectrum will be back on Monday. Up next is the news in English. Do have a very good weekend.